been here before? She asked. No, I said with an apologetic shrug of the shoulders. Okay, if you want to touch me anywhere but my face or my G-string, it is $25 extra. So, wait, I thought, is she or is she not a prostitute? If you want to use a toy on myself, I know I have a terrible French Canadian accent. Ryan, man, come on. If you want to use the toy on myself, it is an extra $30. And if you want to use the toy on, if you want me to use the toy on myself, it's an extra $30. If you want to use the toy on me, it's an extra $40. Still unsure of the direction this was going, I simply nodded as though I was reviewing for an upcoming history test. Okay, we'll put on some music, she said as she stood and chicken walked in her 6-inch white heels over to a white CD player where she pressed play and the sweet jams of some sterilized radio rock band echoed through the room. Brandy turned her head, smiled, walked back over to the bed, and she laid back and her eyes became heavy. Her lips pursed like she was auditioning for a softcore porno, but she was blowing it by overacting. She massaged her shoulders and rubbed her hands through her long blonde hair like it was an 80s metal video, and she was blowing slow-motion kisses to the camera, lifting her legs in the hair and carefully gliding her fingertips through the lines of her calves. I couldn't help but think how absolutely cheesy this was. But as soon as I was about to lose hope, she took off her top. There she was, writhing on this bed in nothing but a G-string. I sat back in the chair and I watched, half laughing at the hilarity of the situation and half excited knowing there was a naked girl in front of me. You can't touch me if you like. She said in her best get sexy voice. Don't worry, this is as uncomfortable for me as it is for you. I didn't intend to read this in front of a bunch of people. Do you want to touch me? She asked, instantly looking up from her contortion exercises. Remembering that I had to borrow money from our drummer, I hesitantly shook my head no. With an audible huff, she closed her eyes and proceeded to do her job. Now, earlier when I had walked in, I noticed a curtain in the corner of the room. I assumed this is where she would possibly disrobe, but at this point, it obviously wasn't the case. Excuse me. I figured I'd be polite seeing that I was interrupting her performance. What's behind that curtain over there? That is for old men, she said sharply. You don't want that. I got the impression that she was trying to steer me away from it. So of course I pursued. Well, what is it? Slapping her hands down and throwing her head back, she sighed, paused, looking up at the ceiling, and then jumped to her feet. She walked over to the table and started tearing open a package. I couldn't make it out, but it seemed to resemble something red made out of rubber. Then she grabbed a handful of rubber bands and turned around and pulled back the curtain. What she had revealed was a thin, now follow me. This is the best I can do at describing this, and everybody tells me that they can't really picture it, so if you guys want me to go into it, I'll go into it. What she had revealed was a thin, door-sized wall of clear plexiglass from the floor to the ceiling. The clear wall had been molded as if a female had walked into the glass but had been cured with her outline intact, as if Han Solo was frozen in clear carbonite and had nice titties. Brandy turned around and with the many rubber bands began affixing the red rubbery thing onto a hole in the middle of the plastic. It looked like a vagina. She was strapping over the hole where I was told then to insert my penis. She looked up at me and pointed to a large container that looked like an industrial-sized ketchup bottle that we used to have in high school cafeteria. This is just what you lube up your penis. Oh, wait, I don't have any extra money. Well, this service comes free with the room, she said while still preparing the machine. Now it all made sense. She would have made more money by charging me extras when she knew that I didn't have the knowledge of what was behind that curtain. She thought she was slick. Motioning to the apparatus strapped onto the hole, tight onto the hole with rubber bands, she said, "This is a brand new pussy. Taken directly out of the package. And over here," she motioned to a black rubber, blood pressure-y, hand-squeezy thing. "This is to make it tighter or more loose." Brandy walked to the other side, and I stood in front of this imposing monstrosity, still unsure of its capabilities. I'm going to turn it on." Turn it on? With the flip of the switch, the room came to life, as if the chairs and the floor and the walls were buzzing. The air hummed, and Brandy walked up against the glass, her body's curves conforming to the outline, and I stood on the other side. Our eyes were no more than 2 inches away, and we could see each other's naked bodies. "Okay," she yelled over the hump. "Now put your penis in the hole." I pumped the gallon of lube in my hand and I applied it to my penis, and as soon as I did what she told me, I felt an immediate sucking sensation from the hole. at me and smiled. I mean, it looked and it felt as if we were having sex. Only we weren't. Banging a wall. Can you see that knob over on your left? I looked over my shoulder and saw a black dial on the wall. Yeah? Turn it to the right. As soon as I turned it, the room went from a hum to a loud buzz. It was shaking the paintings on the walls and rattling the doors on the hinges, but most of all, it made the lubed up suction of the pocket pussy vibrate. Now fuck the whore. And I did. The fact that I was a grown man thrusting into a lubed up sucking hole, simultaneously squeezing the rubber ball and turning it off, that not only made my penis vibrate, but the walls on the floor too. This fact did not escape me. I looked at the floor and burst out laughing. Fuck it harder! And I laughed and I screamed and I turned and I thrusted. I laughed because it was so ridiculous, and I laughed because it damn near tickled. But mostly, I laughed because it was like I was back in the first grade. As we walked back to the van, no one spoke much of specifics. We joked about the facade.